I tricked you guys, didn't I? You thought that was going to be the first set. Hell no. You already know. Well, you do now. I'm going to add a 10 on each side. I'm going to add a 10 and, well, no. Let's just add a 10 on each side. I think that's what I've been working with. I'm actually having trouble remembering. For some reason, I thought I added a 10 and a 5, but no, I think it's just a 10. At least, you know what? That's what I'm going to do today. And if it's a little light, then we'll go up. But I'm like 90% sure now that I'm thinking about it that I just added a 10. Like I said, that's kind of all I want to add today, anyways. If I'm just being completely bluntly honest, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say this again, and it's just me guessing. But I think the cut is finally, we're almost at the end of week 3. Next week will be the start of week 4, and I think it's finally starting to grab a hold of me. I don't feel as strong. I don't feel as energetic. I don't feel, you know what I mean? I'm just not as, I wouldn't say motivated. That's not the right word, but just, I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank on the right word to use. My energy's not there, I guess, is the best way to say it. So, honestly, anytime I've struggled with something like this is kind of a lull in my energy and my motivation, whatever it is. The best way for me to attack it, usually, is to just shut up, which kind of makes for a boring video. But anyway, once I get a set or two in, I'll probably feel way better. It's just, that initial getting started, I'm having trouble with today, and I've kind of had trouble with past 2 or 3 days. But the best way to go about it for me is to just shut up, lock in, and it's like be more in the moment. Because sometimes I tend to struggle with looking too far ahead into the future, and that can mean several different things, like looking too far ahead in the future into this workout, or too far ahead into the end of the cut, or just like 3 weeks out from now. You know what I mean? Like I need to be better about kind of being more present in the moment, each rep, each set, and it just things. I don't know. It just kind of tends to not lift. I guess lift my spirits a little bit and just help me lock in. You know what I mean? Um, I think everybody has struggled with that. If you've trained long enough, you're all gonna hit that moment in time where the motivation is not at its peak or even close sometimes. But that's where discipline comes in. You build that good discipline, and you know, no matter what, you're gonna do what you have to get the job done. So I think I've talked enough. I'm ready. Let me throw a 10 on each side. See how the first one goes. Shoot for 10 reps. If I can do more, I will. If not, we'll see how bad it is. If not, and adjust from there. Oh, that actually, this might be the third day in a row I've said this, but that actually went better than I thought. Um, like I think I was pretty close. Maybe we'll never know at this point, but I think I was pretty close to having 11 reps there. But trying to change my mindset and make the quality of the reps more important than how many I get. Um, like halfway through, I thought, man, I could potentially push for 11 here, and I could have sped the reps up, ensuring that I would have a really good shot at getting it. But I stayed at the same pace and just tried to feel it in my chest, all the good things. So, 10 good ones, and I think if I play my cards right, I could do 10 again. Kind of putting the pressure on myself there, saying that, but I'm gonna go for 10 again. And then the third set, probably, you know, not 10 for sure. We'll say that. How many I get, I don't know. But so we'll do 3 sets heavy like this. Um, should I do 5 sets again? I think I will. We'll do 3 at this weight, just like last week. Maybe I'll go down to 2 and the 25 for one more, and then the fifth one just go down to 2, and just fucking attack the upper chest relentlessly. Sounds good to me. Hell yeah. 10 again. Definitely took a little more effort on that one, but we got it again. And you know what? I still stand by saying, I doubt I'll get 10 for a third time, but I'm going to shoot for it. I'd rather shoot a little higher than what I can get. Maybe that'll push me, and maybe I'll get one more rep that I would have, maybe not gotten if I didn't do that. So, all right, we'll do it again, and we'll start kind of going a little lighter with a couple more. All right, 3 semi-heavy sets done. Let's take a 10 and a 45 off and throw 25 on. Do one like that and keep going. All right, that was pretty much how I was looking to end the last set here. And could you guys see? I don't know where my feet are on these last 2 sets since I dropped some weight and went significantly lighter. I mean, it was 50 or 60 pounds less on these last 2. Put my feet out there. Basically, no leg drive. I mean, on the last rep or 2, I was pushing a little with my legs, but 95% of the set, no leg drive, more emphasis on the chest. Felt great. You know what? I kind of want to do a drop set now. Should I go down to 2 plates, or would that be too much? No, let's do that because I probably won't do any more upper chest today. So it'd be 5 sets in a drop set, 6 if you want to count it like that. Let's do that. Upper chest is fucking fried. So let's move on. So my initial thoughts and plan here is I have it maxed out. Well, no, I don't. One more turn of the dial and add 5 more pounds. That would be maxed out. So it's damn close. But I'm gonna try to do as many sets as I can with this. At this point, it's gonna be pretty heavy for me. If I had only done 3 sets of incline bench, um, this would feel a little easier. But considering I did 5 and a drop set, I mean my chest is already getting pretty fried. So it's gonna be a little heavier than I'm accustomed to. So again, the plan is to do as many sets as I can with this weight. If I could do all 3, I will. Um, before I have to go down, and I will go down if necessary, because the main stipulation here is good form, good contraction in the chest. You know what I mean? Like in isolation, I want my chest doing most of the work. I don't want to start rounding my shoulders or curling it in. You know what I'm saying? So, good form, good control, good reps. And if I can do all 3 sets for at least, what's the magic number? At least, I was gonna say 10. Let's say at least 8 good clean reps, and then maybe I can get 2 or 3 additional cheat reps after that. So something like that. At least 8 good clean ones, and then having more after that, cheating, whatever. Um, so if I get to the point where I can barely do 8 clean, I'll probably go down. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But this first one should be good. I think. Only one way to find out. Okay, that was actually surprising. I only did. I would say the first 9 were pretty clean. The 10th one, I started to cheat a little bit, and then I stopped. And you guys see what happened after that. I stopped, and the 11th one was pretty tough, and all I could get. I thought if I did X amount, pretty clean, good reps, I'd be able to cheat 2 or 3 more. I scrapped that idea because I only got 1 cheat rep after that. Again, the main thing is getting good sets and good reps. So, all in all, it was good. It just didn't really go as planned, which is going to happen a lot the more you train. So, just you might as well get used to that. All right, we'll do a couple more, maybe a drop set. It just depends how I feel when I get to the last set. We'll see. All right. Yeah, let's do drop set. Those actually went better than expected. Kind of a theme today. I like it. All right. That was fucking beautiful. All right, let's move on to something. Well, just for today, I think let me start by saying this. On my chest days, I do a lot of flies, and I still stand by roughly. I mean, this is just kind of a rough ratio, but for every one press, you should be doing three different exercises of flies. So it's a 3-to-1 ratio. So like I started off with incline bench press. Um, Typically, not all the time. Typically, I would like to pair that with three different variations of flies. Maybe straight out cable flies, and then go down, and then maybe do some pec deck. Roughly, I mean, generally that's how I do it. I would say maybe 8 times out of 10. But every now and then I deviate from that. Like today, here's an example, and it just feels right and feels like something I should do to completely switch it. I'll do three pressing. What I do next might not be completely a pressing, but it's gonna involve a push. You'll see. But three pressing to one fly. So again, I still believe, and even Arnold said this, for bodybuilding purposes, just building a great chest, you want to do more flies than pressing. Generally, not everybody. Some guys just have great chest genetics and they can press all day long, and their chest just fucking blows up. Um, but if you have a stubborn chest like me, my triceps want to take over sometimes. Flies really help me. So generally, I think you should want to do, you know, more flies than pressing. But again, every now and then, like today, I like to deviate from that just to keep my body guessing a little bit. So something pretty simple and easy here: the cable press, 3 sets on a drop set, probably. All right. That was pretty fucking filthy, to be honest with you, in the best way. All right, I'm gonna do one more exercise. I might only do like 2 sets compared to the drop set rather than 3 because I've already done a lot. So we'll move on to one more. Then I'll check out this pump that feels pretty filthy. I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty awesome. So let's do that. As soon as I said I'll do 2 more sets in a drop set, I realized the way I'm doing this, there's really no way I could do a drop set. And if you can't tell by now, I'm doing push-ups. So what I'm thinking is I'll do a set max reps, take a normal 1 to 2 minute rest, do another one, and then almost do like a rest pause. I'll stop after the second one, kind of kneel like this for 5 to 10 seconds, and then do as many more as I can. That's going to be my way of, kind of doing a drop set. But again, this is why I also said, is this really considered a press? I mean, I consider one is just using body weight. It's the same movement as a bench press. So it's called a push-up, yes, and it's also just using body weight, yeah. But I still consider it. It's just like I said, it's the same movement pattern as the bench press. You're just moving your body rather than moving weight. Um, so I don't know. It's definitely not a fly. So I mean, whatever you want to consider it, you know, whatever. But I'm going to consider it a press. So this will be the third pressing movement of the day. And like I said, 2 sets and a little modified drop set. And we'll check out the pump. All right, give me a little bit of time after that. Holy fuck. And we will check out the pump. It feels pretty crazy. I know that much. All right, to be completely honest, this is not my favorite spot to pose. I don't think the lighting's the best, but I mean, sometimes the lighting just isn't going to be the best. So I think it's okay every now and then to pose in maybe a spot that you feel like, you look at yourself and you're like, I don't like the way I look here. Whether it's the lighting or whatever, maybe I'm blaming it on something that's not. But either way, this is where we're going to do the posing. So let's get right into it. All right, man. A job well done today, if I do say so myself. A great fucking workout. So I'm gonna go finish up with some cardio, about 25 minutes, steady state. Anytime after you weight train, or really any kind of cardio at all, if you're trying to hold on to as much muscle as you can, you're not like training for endurance or whatever. Um, you want it to be steady state. You don't want to do such high intensity cardio because that has a more likely or a higher chance of you losing more muscle. So a good kind of, I would say, somewhere where your heart rate is, well, it depends on your age, I guess, but generally where your heart rate is somewhere between 120 and 140. That's like a good steady state, and it depends on your fitness level. If your heart rate's 120 to 140 and you're way out of shape, that might feel, I don't know. So yeah, it just depends. But for me, anyways, I guess I could say, usually my heart rate's between 120, 140. I'm working, but it's not like killing me. So, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna go wrap up with some cardio, like I said. Tomorrow, I'll be back for a little bit of shoulders and triceps. Probably won't be a crazy amount of volume, like usual. Probably 6 sets each, but we'll worry about that tomorrow. So let's go do some cardio, and I'm out.